All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and also to their elders, the men that taught them. I pray the Lord have peace, blessings, and mercy upon the households of the hopeful elect. This is the brother Shema Wan from the Great Millstone Houston Church, and today I want to come with a lesson, something just through the spirit real quick. You know, throughout this day, just meditating on, or now meditating on the day, reflecting on this day, but throughout the day, you know, as just going through it, just, what's the word? Reacting, you know, just reacting as things come, you know, whatever it is that had to be done, whatever situation occurs, just focusing on how to react. And, you know, now the day is over with, and just reflecting on it, the problem with today is Esau. Esau is the problem, okay? Esau is the blame. He's responsible according to the times that we're in. All right, why do I say that? Because according to Proverbs, let's get it. Salakia, Job 9:24. Let me read this. Job chapter 9:24. It reads, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked." And mind you, emphasis on the wicked, the father of wickedness, you know, the one who wickedness is attached to, the one who wickedness is a part of their make. Okay? So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. It says that specifically for a reason. And this is the time, the current time we're in. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not, where and who is he? As long as we've been on the earth, when has the image of the Most High, the image of the Messiah, which is his only begotten Son, who this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his true name is Yahweh Shai, when has the images of the heavenly host or the holy prophets changed? Now, you know, in this time when the wicked have been bearing rule. All right. So we know where we're at according to the time. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. So when the wicked will be ruling, he's going to cover the faces of the judges. All right. Going on, it says, if not, where and who is he? Let me get one quick precept. Where is that? First Maccabees chapter 3:48. Who is this attached to? First Maccabees 3:48. We focusing on the wicked. It says, let me see if I can start up. No, I'll start there. First Maccabees chapter 3:48. It reads, "And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images." All right. So out of all the heathen on the earth, who is the one who put themselves or put their image on, you know, the images of the heavenly hosts, anything attached to the law, anything attached to these holy scriptures, anything attached to the spiritual matters? Esau, these Edomites, and we'll get more on them. But first Maccabees 3:48, straight to the point. It says, "And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images." All right, so that's why you have a Caucasian looking, pale, Most High, the Savior, the prophets, the angels, all of that. All right. And that was the point. But focusing on Esau, let me get one more just to put the name on it. Let me go to Malachi. But he is the problem. Just looking at everything, and it was to the point where it's like, damn, to some people it could be petty. Like to the things that you can actually complain about or bring up into consideration about it being a problem, people would think it's petty because it's so much. Literally every corner you turn, there's a problem. And Esau is the one who should be held accountable. All right. We're not the problem. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The earth ain't given into our hands. We don't have that type of authority. All right. But let me get this just to attach it to the correct name of who the wicked are. This is Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. It reads, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. So the border of wickedness is attached to the Edomites. That's who the wicked is. That's who the wicked are. All right. It says, and the people against whom Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah hath indignation forever. Why is it like that? Because they are contrary to righteousness. It tells you that in the book of Psalms, the 50th chapter. You know, they throw the words of the Lord, you know, behind their back. It doesn't benefit them. They cannot, you know, they cannot be right in the spirit. It tells you that in Habakkuk. All right. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. And who does this apply to in these times? All right. The beginning applies to Esau, the Edomites. His spirit is not upright. His soul, his self, he is not right. Literally, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah told you exactly how this man's life was going to be on this earth. Telling you, according to his blessing, how he was going to live by the sword. All right. And what did he do with that blessing? Revelation chapter 4 and verse 6. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. It reads, and there went out another horse that was red. And this represents Esau, the Edomites. All right. It says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. That's exactly what Esau does. Am I right? Strips everything out of its correct nature. Just causes trouble, of a natural troublemaker. That's how the Lord had him to be, because of our disobedience. Now we see what it's like to serve underneath the hand of our enemies, like the Lord said it would be. All right. And Tawadi Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah for this grace period, you know, underneath the rule of being underneath the wicked. Because now we actually see what bad looks like, and we feel it. We live it. And we're hoping to experience what good looks like very soon. And according to prophecy, it's coming. All right. That's why we got to continue to sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done around us, man. We have every reason to complain and cry to the Lord every day, because this shit is not right. You know, from the smallest matters to the greatest matters, it could be that petty and that precise. Esau does not have it, man. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Real quick, let me just get this precept. Genesis 25 and 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage. All right. For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Esau. So let's go back and finish it out. Revelation 6 and 4. That's why whenever you read scriptures like this, red, all right, that's attached to Esau. All right. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. The Lord gave what did we read in Job 9 and 24? the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. All right, this is still attached to the wicked, who are the Edomites, who take peace from the earth. All right, it says thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword, and that was his blessing. All right, it tells you, if I would have kept reading the Habakkuk, it tells you this man, he's a proud man. He doesn't stay to himself, and his desire is as hell, which means the grave. Like, this nigga can never get enough. He can never be fulfilled with death. He can never be fulfilled with, you know, he can never be full of just taking peace from the earth and from everything that exists. All right. And these are all traits attached to these Edomites. That's why in this current time, in this current condition, you know, the Wadi Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah for allowing us to understand who we are and where we are according to prophecy. We are in the hand of the enemy, and this nigga is getting judged according to prophecy, which is gonna lead up to his removal. The earth is finna be just like the earth was given unto him, it's finna be stripped. All of that authority, all of his imprint that he made on this earth is finna be fucking removed and taken out of place. That's why we read scriptures like Isaiah 65 and verse 17. You know, the Lord is gonna refresh this place, a new heavens and a new earth, where we're not gonna remember the former. Nobody finna talk about how great it was on this side, underneath the rule of the wicked. No, this nigga is a blame and a stain on life itself. You know? So there is no peace on this side. That's why the Israelites rely on Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah if you are in the right spirit, if you are in the upright spirit. That's the only way to peace, the only way to safety, deliverance. That's the only way. Let's read this. Baruch. This is what the Lord allowed us to partake in. Baruch chapter 2. And I'll start at verse 20. Start at verse 28. Baruch 2 and 28. As thou spake by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, if ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the heathen, Salaki, among the nations, where I will scatter them. And that happened. All right, the Lord dispersed us throughout the four corners of the earth, north, south, east, and west, amongst these heathen nations that don't honor, that don't fear, that don't reverence, that don't glorify Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah. They glorify their own gods. They have their own made up ways and their customs and their dealings in life. And whenever we were scattered amongst them, we partook of their ways. Let me get another precept real quick in the book of Psalms. There's nothing new. Just like it happened during these times in the past, dealing with Joshua, it still happens to this very day. Psalms 106. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. This is, I know it's in Psalms 106. Hold on 1 second. All right, this is Psalms chapter 106 in verse, let's start at verse 34. It says, they did not destroy the nations concerning whom Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. And the same thing applies to this day. You know, scattered amongst, mixed amongst the heathen nations, And what happens? We learn their ways. All right. That's why knowing now, you know, what it is, the condition that we're in, it's no room to give to these heathen, man. They're fucking wrong. The way of life, the way things are going, this shit is not right for us. We are, how the brother Iraq say, we're behind enemy lines, man. All right. So it says, and they served their idols. We served their false gods. The shit they made with their hands, the shit they reverence, the things they give their time and attention to, you know, the things they glorify. That's what that's what rubbed off on us. And it affected us still to this day. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. That word snare is mawakwash. On the blue letter, in the blue letter, it's H4170. I believe it's mawakwash. And it says a hook, to be ensnared, a jinn, a trap, bait, a lure, a snare. And that's all it is. You know, it was pleasing or attractive to the flesh, and we gave attention to the shit. And now, and from that point, it was a wrap. Until the Lord quickened us in our dead estate. You know, like it tells you in Ephesians, the 2nd chapter, when we were dead in our trespasses, you know, serving false gods in a different type of mindset, in a heathen mindset. You know, that's whenever Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai's mercy came upon us in his grace period, where he quickened our spirit, where we no longer follow the course of this world, man. You know, where we can point out the problem, which is at the top, it's Esau. Because this is the one in authority right now. Like it tells you in Psalms, the 29th chapter. The wicked, whenever they bear rule, and right now they're bearing rule in what the people freaking mourn. All right? People are sick. Death is attached to this place. You're always losing and wasting energy into vain shit, you know, that these heathen have to offer. And the only relief that we get in this existence is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. The comfort of understanding these scriptures, the comfort of understanding and being able to believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai overall, man. You know, the testimony of Yahushai, the prophecies to come, even throughout our daily dealings in life, acknowledging the ways of the Lord rather than the ways of these freaking heathen that we're mingled amongst. But this is what Esau pushes, you know. But now things ain't looking too bright for him because he's on his downcline, and we see it, you know. So that was it. That was on my spirit, you know. So Lord willing, until the next time, I say shalom.